guys, it's Kristen from Anime Collective. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my room tour for you guys, showing you all of my collection from my figures to my statues to my manga. So my collection is actually throughout my entire house. It's in my living room, in my bedroom, in my office, and in the den here. So we're going to start out in the den and I'm going to take you everywhere else. I have manga everywhere, figures everywhere, statues everywhere, so stay tuned. So we're going to kick things off here in the den. This is where I shoot all of my YouTube videos. You guys may have seen it in my videos, but we're going to start with the 3 Billy bookcases over here where most of my manga is. So a quick preview as to what you guys can expect in this video. There's over 1,200 volumes of manga in my collection currently. I have a ton of statues and a ton of anime figures as well as some art as well that I'm going to show you guys, so stay tuned for all of that. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys all the manga that's in these 3 Billy bookcases here first. The first bookshelf is where I have all of my SIG volumes, and then all of the volumes are the same size from other publishers like Kodansha and Yin Press, and they should all be in alphabetical order, hopefully. First, we have the 20th Century Boys Perfect Editions, which is a great place to start because I'm a big fan of Naoki Urasawa. I like the look of the individual volumes also, but those are out of print, so I decided to go with the Monster Editions. So I have all of these but Volume 2, which I have in order with Right Stuff, but it's out of stock right now. I think a lot of people are in the same boat there, but I hope that ships out soon. To go along with those, I also have 21st Century Boys, so if you're looking for more, definitely check that out too. Biomega is up next and it's complete. It only has 6 volumes, so it's a decently quick read, and as always, Satomu Nihei's art is incredible in this one. But Biomega is one of my favorites of his. It has a cyberpunk yet apocalyptic feel with zombie-like creatures, which I love, and I really like the characters, especially Kozlov the bear. Dead Dead Demons by Inio Asano is one that I have caught up with through Volume 10. The recent volumes are really ramping up, but I've enjoyed this one all around so far. Incredible art, it hits me hard emotionally, and I like that it involves aliens and tackles larger issues. But there's so much about this one that I love, so much so that if it keeps up in the remaining volumes, it could potentially end up being one of my top 5. Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage is a highly underrated series that I picked up not too long ago at half price in Right Stuff. I am only missing Volume 5 of this one. It is on hiatus right now, but it's so good and I highly recommend it. Oh, and Volume 0 is a prequel volume, by the way. I also have up through Volume 22 of Doro Hey Doro. This is one of my all-time favorites and it's by Kyu Hayashida, and I absolutely love her work. And yes, I am missing the elusive Volume 23. Have that one on order from Right Stuff and hope it ships out so I can finally have the complete series. I have Fire Punch as well, and that's complete with 8 volumes. I recently did an in-depth video about how much I love this one on the channel, so definitely check that out if you'd like, but it's dark and profound and definitely worth the read. Gangsta is one that I watched the anime first and then picked up the manga, which is backwards for me, but I enjoyed it, so I wanted to experience the manga as well. I haven't read it yet though, since I'm still waiting on volumes 2 and 5 to ship out. Gangsta Cursed is another one I picked up, and this one is complete up through Volume 5. This one is a spin-off based on Marco, so once I finish reading Gangsta, I can't wait to get into this one as well. This next one, Goodnight Pun Pun, is by one of my favorites, Inio Asano. I'm super excited to finally have these volumes because I have been waiting to read this one for so long now, and a few volumes just arrived this month and the rest just arrived yesterday, so some you see here will be in my haul this month as well. But this is the one I'm currently reading, and I'll do a video about this one when I complete it. Hell's Paradise is one of my favorites that was recently released, so I have volumes 1 through 10, which I think is caught up, but I love Gabimaru as an MC, and I love Sagiri as well as many other characters in this one, and has a really unique world and cool horror elements as well. In my opinion, it's just as good as Chainsaw Man, which was released in the same year, but Hell's Paradise is really underrated for how good it is, but I think it will rise even more in popularity once the anime releases. This next one is my favorite, Naoki Urasawa Monster. I have all but volumes 5 and 9 of the Perfect Editions, but they are all on back order with Right Stuff. I'll be doing an in-depth video about Monster on the channel in the future, so stay tuned for that video, but this one is just amazing all around. Another series by him is Pluto. I haven't been able to read this one yet because I'm missing volumes 3 through 5, but I've heard incredible things and I'm really intrigued by this one since it's a retelling based on Astro Boy. Takehiko Inoue is another one of my favorites, so I'm trying to complete all of his series, and Real is one of them. I am missing volumes 1 through 4 and 8 right now, but I ordered those all in Right Stuff. His art is super realistic and is beautiful, and this one is still serializing, by the way, so volume 14 was the most recent to release. I also have all of the Resident Evil, the Mahawa Desire volumes. This is one that's out of print, but we wanted to get it because Brad loves the Resident Evil franchise, and I'm into anything that involves zombies. Haven't read it yet, but I think I'm going to read this one next after Pun Pun. I'm trying to get all of Inio Asano's manga, so I also picked up Solanine, and it's just 1 volume. I'll read this one soon, but I just got this one in my most recent haul. Tokyo Ghoul Re is complete as well with volumes 1 through 16. I also have the Heisei Nindoroid in front of these, and it's one of my favorites. I have Tokyo Ghoul 2, but I got the monster editions, which are larger, so I'll show you guys those later on. Zom 100 is one that I'm currently picking up as it releases, but I have volumes 1 through 3 right now. This is one that has consistently made me laugh. It's just super enjoyable, fresh for a zombie story, and Haru Asa was involved, so I had to get it. Next on the shelf are my larger Kodansha volumes. Up first is Inuyashiki, which is by Hiroya Oku, creator of one of my all-time favorites, Gaunt's, but I have up through volume 9 of this one. Volume 10 is on back order, so still waiting on that one from Right Stuff, and then it will be complete. Land of the Lusters is one I just picked up at half price, so I have volumes 1 through 5 of this one. I've read the first few volumes so far, and it's one of the most unique series I've read. Witch Hat Atelier is one I recently got into collecting as well. I read the first few volumes and the art is beautiful. I have the rest of the volumes on order with Right Stuff, but right now I have volumes 1 through 4 and 6 through 8. Then I have my larger Yin Press volumes in alphabetical order, so Doubt is up first. Survival game stories are some of my favorites, so I'm picking up all of them when I can. Doubt only has 2 volumes, but there's another one called Judge that's a sequel, so I need to get those as well. I have Prison School up through volume 14, so that one is complete. Prison School is absolutely hilarious, never fails to make me laugh, and I just love it. Akira Hiramoto is just a phenomenal artist as well. I only have volumes 1 and 2 of Shibuya Goldfish, but I want to get the rest soon. I love crazy horror premises, so a series about man-eating goldfish really appealed to me. Next, I have volumes 1 and 2 of Solo Leveling, which is one of my favorite manhwa, and I couldn't be happier that they are printing the series. But the quality of the printing in these is just awesome, especially since they are full color. These next ones are series that are the same size as SIG volumes, but are from different publishers. Steins Gate Zero Volume 1 just recently released, so I have that one and decided to get the Barnes & Noble exclusive. I also have the Steins Gate complete hardcover on the way, and I'll do a review of that one when it arrives. I also have One a Wonderful World Volume 2, and this is a SIG volume, but I got the second volume later at half price, so I still need to move it up. Still need Volume 1, and then that's complete, but this is a collection of short stories by Inio Asano. The Breaker is another manhwa that I'm picking up as it comes out. So far, only 1 volume has been released, but I did a review of this one on the channel if you'd like to check that out. It's right up my alley, the fights are well drawn, and I like the whole criminal underground aspect of it. And finally, on this shelf, we have volumes 1 and 2 of Fist of the North Star. This isn't going to be the final spot for these, but they fit, so I have them on display here for now. I love over-the-top violence and gore, and I couldn't be happier that Viz finally re-released this one and gave it the hardcover treatment. This bottom shelf has my heavier, larger volumes on them since it's sturdier than the rest, but I have volumes 1 through 6 of Akira on here from the box set. I decided to take them out because they are too beautiful to stay in the box. Then we have all the volumes from the Battle Angel Alita box set from Kodansha. I also have the Attack on Titan Colossal editions through volume 5, so that's caught up. By the way, if it's a collector's edition or a larger format release, I probably did a review of them on the channel. There's a few I still need to do, but most of them have a video if you like an inside look and want to see the overall quality. But I really like the way the art looks in these, as well as the Tokyo Ghoul Monster editions that I also have completed here. Tokyo Ghoul is one of my top manga, so I decided to get these larger format editions, although I wish they didn't make these Barnes & Noble exclusives. In the center of these 2 larger billies, I have a thinner, tall billy bookcase for my heavier volumes. They just have sturdier shelves, so I decided to go this route, although at the top here I decided to put the Assassination Classroom volumes, which are complete, because they fit perfectly on one shelf, which is really pleasing. But these have some of the most beautiful spines I've ever seen. I decided to put my Berserk Deluxe editions front and center because it's my favorite manga of all time, and I just wanted them to be one of the first things I see when I look at the shelves. I have up through volume 8, and they are beautiful, high-quality editions. The art looks even more incredible with the large format too. But I have a more in-depth video about Berserk in the works right now, so I have that video coming in the future. I also have volumes 1 and 2 of Blade of the Immortal Deluxe editions, but I'm keeping up with these as they release. These are the only deluxe editions I haven't reviewed on the channel, but I have that video coming soon. Next are deluxe editions 1 through 3 of Hellsing, which completes the series. I love the blood red scarlet color of these, and they really pop on the shelf. But I finished reading this one not too long ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Kota Hirano has a unique style, and it's a fresh take for a story about vampires. On the next shelf, I have all of my master editions of Blom and Knights of Sidonia, and both of these are complete. Blom is one of my favorite manga, as well as my favorite by Tsutomu Nihei, and Knights of Sidonia is a mecha story by Tsutomu Nihei, and I love mecha and I love Tsutomu Nihei's work, so if you like either, I recommend checking it out. But the large format of these is awesome, and his artwork looks even better in the master editions. I made this next shelf all about Full Metal, so I have all of the Full Metal editions 1 through 13 here. Love the metallic foil on their spines, and I also have the Nendoroids of Ed and Alphonse on display here too. And on this case's final shelf, I have some random stuff. I don't really like how this shelf looks right now, so I need to change it. But I have the final Tokyo Ghoul volume since I ran out of space on the other. I also have the High School of the Dead full color editions. These are some of my favorite editions, and they set the standard for how full color releases should be done. And then I have volumes 0, 1, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11 of Blot, so I'm missing quite a few since those volumes are harder to find. Waiting and hoping I can find them for a good price, but really hoping to find all the remaining volumes soon. I also have All You Need Is Kill on top right now because it's a weird size and doesn't really fit in with anything else right now, but it's one of my favorite stories. On the third Billy, I have some of my Dark Horse volumes with Danganronpa first up on the shelf. I have all those complete, but some of the volumes wouldn't fit, so I have those on one of my other bookcases right now, and then we have one of my favorites in the collection, the Gaunt's Individuals. So right now I have 1 through 15, 17, 19, 22, 23, 25, 26, 28, 29, 31, and 34 through 36, so I am missing some. I was supposed to have these completed a bit back, but some orders I made got canceled, so I'm back to hunting for the volumes I still need again. But I found most of these volumes on clearance for $3 at half price, which I couldn't believe, and I also got some of them ordered for cover price on Amazon recently. I'm not sure if they'll actually ship out, but Amazon randomly restocked some of the volumes. Hope that wasn't a mistake or too good to be true. Gaunt's G is next, and that is complete with volumes 1 through 3. Then I have volumes 1 through 4 of Psycho-Pass Inspector Shinya Kogami. So this one is about Kogami and his days as an inspector, and it's a really great read. On the second shelf, I have all of the Neon Genesis Evangelion volumes. These are 3-in-1s, with the last volume being a 2-in-1. They have a lot of awesome extras and commentary, but I'll do a review of these for you guys in the future. And then we have my second favorite of all time, Vagabond, which comes really close to Berserk for me, but I decided to pick up the Vizbigs. Recently, I reviewed these on the channel and have a more in-depth video about Vagabond coming too, but I love the way these spines look on the shelf, and I have up through 12 right now, which are all of the volumes that have been released so far. The next shelf features some of my favorite smaller Viz volumes, and it starts off with Black Torch. So I loved Black Torch, but I think it got canceled, which I was really bummed about, so it only has 5 volumes. This one had a more punk attitude to it, really incredible art, the MC Jiro is awesome, and it had a great antagonist as well, so I wish it would have kept going. I also love dystopian stories, and Demi in Wonderland is one of my favorites I've read, so I have that one complete up through volume 13. Jinsei Kataoka and Kazuma Kondo are one of my favorite duos in manga, so I'm working to complete all of their manga. Death Note is another favorite of mine. It's in my top 10, and my favorite from Takeshi Obata is Sugumi Oba. I read it previously in the Viz app, but wanted to reread it physically, plus I had to have it in the collection, so I just recently got the complete box set. For One Punch Man, I have all of the volumes except for volume 10 for some reason. I think I accidentally forgot to order that one, but we have since placed an order for it, but I have up through volume 22. One Punch Man has some of my favorite art in all of manga, and it's a fun read. I also really love the longer graphic here on volumes 20 through 22 that shows Saitama punching. That's just a really nice touch. I'm caught up on all the volumes that have been released so far of Platinum End and have up through volume 13. I think 14 is the last volume, so when it releases, it will be complete. But I've actually been enjoying this one, although I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on it. The anime just recently started airing too, so I'm excited to see how it's translated. Another one I have is Promise Neverland, and I have up through volume 19 of that one, so I think I have one more to get, and then I'm caught up with the volumes that have been released so far. Also, I just noticed volumes 18 and 19 got flipped. Sorry about that, guys. Gotta fix that later. After these Viz volumes, I have some of my favorite Yen Press series on the shelf. First up is my favorite Bungo Stray Dogs, and I have up through 19. I'm missing 5 for some reason, though, on the shelf. I know I have it, but I can't seem to find it. This one is underrated for how incredible it is. Both the Armed Detective Agency and the Port Mafia have interesting characters, including 2 of my favorites, Dazai and Octagawa. They have really unique abilities too, and I just really love Bungo Stray Dogs so much, so I'll definitely have more content about the series coming in the future. Demout Deathplay is one I haven't gotten around to reading yet, but have through volume 6 of that one. I think that completes the series, but this one just really appealed to me after reading the synopsis, and the graphic design look of the spines really appealed to me whenever I saw them. Next is Goblin Slayer, and I have all but volume 4 of that one. I'm having such a hard time finding that specific volume, but it will restock someday, so I'm staying patient. I also have some of the side stories Year 1, Brand New Day, and the most recent Daikatana. Smoke and Parade is another series by Demi and Wonderland's creators. I just love how they design their characters and the worlds they bring to life. There's dark humor and a lot of action in this one. It has an intriguing premise that involves a task force called the Jackalope, who are outfitted with something called gears, which are these mechanical steampunk-looking weapons, so there's a lot of cool designs. My favorite characters so far are Akuta and Kotaharu, but there are a lot of interesting personalities in this one. And finally, on the bottom shelf, I have some volumes from Seven Seas and Dark Horse. Didark is Kyu Hayashida, who also created Dorohedoro's latest series. It's fun, full of dark humor, which I love. It's one of my favorites that was released this year, so I have volumes 1 and 2 of that one. I also have Gagant by Hiroya Oku. This is his latest series. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near his other works like Gaunt's or Inuyashiki, but I still enjoy reading it, so I have up through volume 5. And then I have the absolutely bonkers yet entertaining Magical Girl Apocalypse here. The designs at times reminds me a lot of one of Brad's favorite artists, Alex Party, so it has a cool style and unique art. It's over the top in terms of its gore, which I enjoy as well. I'm missing volumes 4 and 6, and these last 2 volumes that I need are really pricey, so hopefully I can find those for a good price in the future. Last but certainly not least is I Am a Hero, and I finally got all of the volumes, so I have all of them up through volume 11, which actually just arrived this month. But these surprisingly restocked on Right Stuff recently, and I couldn't believe it. One of my top stories about zombies, and this is what Brad is actually reading right now, so I can't wait to finally talk with him about the series. That's just all the manga I have in this room, but I have 3 other Billy bookcases to show you guys in other rooms, but I'll show you all those later on. First though, I'm going to show you guys the rest of this room because I have some statues in here as well. Alright, so I have 2 Max 140 Plus Maju case display cases in here as well as a DF60, and I just recently switched to the white backgrounds and baseboards, which I'm happy I did because the statues stand out so much more in the case, and I also added in LEDs, which are all hooked up to a smart strip in the back that I can turn on and off with my phone, which is really nice. I'll link to everything I use in the description below, and if you guys have any questions about anything, definitely drop them in the comments. In the top Max 140 Plus, I have Surge Studio Itachi and Surge Studio Kisame, 2 of my favorites in the collection. Itachi is my favorite character in Naruto, and I know that's probably predictable, but he's a well-written character and he's the type of personality I tend to gravitate towards. I also really love these 2 statues because they both have a floating effect to them, Kisame much more than Itachi, but both poses are really cool nonetheless. Next to both of them, I also put some smaller figures because I thought it was funny for scale, especially since the little Chara figure of Itachi here has his Susanoo as well. In the bottom Max 140 Plus, I have WS Studio Yamamoto and Toshiro. WS Studio make incredible statues, especially when it comes to bleach, but they do have some issues with breakages. Luckily, Toshiro came without any breakages, which is remarkable, but I wasn't so lucky with Yamamoto. Was able to fix everything though, and you can check that out in my latest unboxing video if you'd like. But both are really cool statues, and all of the statues in these cases have larger, clear resin pieces, so I like the way they look on display next to one another. On top of the Max 140 Plus, and don't worry, these are reinforced so they are super sturdy, but I have 2 statues I recently unboxed on the channel, Prime 1 Studio Dante and Jimmy Palace Pain. This is not the final display place for these 2, but I have 2 Max 140 Plus cases currently in shipment that are set to be here soon, so I'll have Jimmy Payne and Kakashi in one, and all the Prime 1 Studio Devil May Cry 5 statues, including Nero and V as well as Dante, in the other one when they arrive. On the other side of these, I have the DF60 case with Magic Cube Muzan, and on top I have my absolute favorite in the collection, Prime 1 Studios 1/3 scale Guts statue. I have plans to buy a custom pedestal with an acrylic top for him, so this isn't the final display place, but I have him here for now. I will definitely be getting more 1/3 scale Berserk statues if they release, but I'm waiting to see those before I get more. And if you're wondering where Jimmy Kakashi is, well, I ran out of space, so he's currently still on the table after shooting the unboxing, but he's in a safe place for now and being displayed there until my Maju case shipment arrives. I also have a couple of statues atop the Billy bookcases. Only reason I feel okay putting these here right now is because they are super light statues, but I have Kakuzu and Hidan by Cloud Studio displayed together. I also have Datara here as well, and have plans to put Cloud Studio Sasori next to him when he arrives. I love the Akatsuki, so I wanted to showcase a lot of them up here. I also have the Nendoroids of Datara and Sasori here as well as a few figures, a couple of Band Presto Future Trunks figures, and the Mega House Kakashi figure. The last thing I want to show you guys before we head out into the living room is this Initial D skate deck that Bait made. It has a really cool graphic of Takumi in his AE86 and it's really clean, so I had to have this. Got some hangers to put it on the wall recently, and I love the way it looks above the door. So next I want to show you guys the living room real quick because I have some stuff out here as well. Here's a quick look at the whole living room, and my little ones Mai and Mikazuki are making their first appearance on the channel, but this is just where we pretty much watch all of our anime and play games. We spend a lot of time here. Some essentials are always on the coffee table, including an Xbox controller and our iPad, which we use all the time to read manga on the Viz app. On the other side of the room, we have an IKEA display case with some of our lighter weight statues in it, and I'll show you guys a close-up of those in a second. Our TV stand with another simple setup, just a TV, soundbar, and Xbox. And yeah, I know, we need to upgrade the Xbox. I prefer Xbox, but might have to get a PS5 too if the new Final Fantasy game is an exclusive. And then on the other side of the TV, I have one of my favorite prints by Alexander E. Carino, and I hope I said that right, but I'll link to all of the artists I mentioned in the description below, but I loved all the colors on this one. They complement my crazy blue colored couch, and it's unique for an AOT print. Plus it has a cool perspective with one of my favorites, Levi, in front. I also have his Akira and Berserk prints that I need to put up, but I just haven't found a place for them yet. Here's a quick close-up of the statue case and the statues in it as well. On the top shelf, I have Jianki Studio Sasuke, which is one of my favorites. I'm still in search of a Susanoo piece for him, but love the unique concept here. The middle shelf has MH Studio Obito on it, which was one of the first statues we ever purchased. MH makes some nice statues that are more simplistic and really place the highlight on the character, so we decided to pick this one up of him. And on the bottom shelf, because he's heavier and I would never put him on glass, is the first statue we ever purchased, Soulmaker Neji. But I like how they sculpted his hair to look as if it is flying up behind him on this one. Still need to add some lights to this case, but it's not a bad little case all around if you're looking to display some lighter weight statues or figures. In this little nook over here next to the living room, I also have another display case from IKEA, and it's called the Mills Bow. Still need to get lights for these, but the specific lights you need from IKEA have been sold out for a long time. Only thing I don't like about this case is that the handles don't line up perfectly, but other than that, I really love it for displaying anime figures. I'll show you guys the figures I have in here as quickly as possible, but there's quite a few. Up top here I have some of my Nindoroids, and I'm using acrylic risers, which I'll link in the description below, so I can display more of these in one area. On the first row, I have all of my My Hero Academia Nindoroids. So far I've only gotten Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, and Dabi, who are a few of my favorites from the series. I also have the new Bakugo Nindoroid on pre-order as well. The next row is going to be a Jujutsu Kaisen row, but I only have Yuji and Megumi on the shelf right now. I just got in Gojo 2, but I'll show you guys that one in my next haul video. The upper two rows have some Naruto and Hunter x Hunter Nindoroids, so I have Sakura, Kakashi, Gon, Killua, Gaara, Shikamaru, Jiraiya, and Hinata. Next to all of these, I have another acrylic riser with some Dragon Ball WCFs. I love collecting WCFs because they are cheap but extremely detailed and they don't take up a lot of space. But I have some of my favorites on this first row. The WCFs that show Vegeta cleaning and cooking for Beerus, they crack me up, but I put Beerus next to him and Bulma next to him as well because it looks like she's side-eyeing him grumpily. Then I have some Super Saiyan God Gokus and some Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Gokus, Zamasu, Goku Black, and then future Trunks and Mai are obviously displayed together. Next row has Super Saiyan Blue Vegito and Gogeta, Goku vs. Hit, Golden Frieza, and the final row has Gohan and Gogeta vs. Broly. The WCFs carry on to the next shelf. First row has a bunch of Gokus, second row is SS3 Goku, Frieza First Form, Future Trunks, all of the androids. Next row has Imperfect Cell, Super Saiyan Goku and Gohan, Vegeta, Majin Buu, Majin Vegeta, and the top row has some WCFs from the Broly movie of Bardock, Little Goku, Vegeta, and Broly. To the side of those, I have some random figures, but they are all mostly from GT. I have the SS4 Goku and Presto Master Stars figure, and at his feet I also have a WCF. On a riser next to that, I have the Super Master Stars Vegeta and Trunks figure, and underneath that I have two more WCFs from GT. And at the very front, because I thought it was cute and funny, I put Little Goku, because he looks like he owns the place in this pose. The third shelf has all of the AOT Nindoroids on one side, and I used risers to make it look like they are maneuvering next to one another at different heights. I have Levi looking like he's about to spin around like a madman, then I have Mikasa next to him and Eren down in front. Next to those, I have more Nindoroids. First row, I have Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Zenitsu, and then I have Inosuke on the second row, as well as some Nindoroids. From a guilty pleasure of mine, Hypnosis Mike. My favorite of the three has to be Dobo, though. Third row has some of my favorite Nindoroids, and they are all from Bungo, Octagawa, Atsushi, Dazai, and Chuya. And final row has some of my favorite figures of Raphtalia and Naofumi from my favorite Isekai Shield Hero. And finally, I have a Nindoroid of Daisuke. Bottom shelf still has some room to grow into, which is never a bad thing, but I just recently started collecting WCFs from other series, like One Piece and My Hero Academia. First row has some One Piece WCFs of Sabo, Ace, and Luffy. More Luffy on the second row, one of Zoro, Chopper, and King, and then top row has some WCFs from MHA. But anywho, that's all of the anime figures I have on display in this case right now. Since I have so much to show you guys, I'm going to save my office and bedroom, which has more art, manga, 3 more billies full of them actually, and figures and statues in it, as well as all of the Gundams I currently have on display. But there's going to be a part 2 coming soon as well. Just so much to get through, and this video would have been super long if I didn't split it up, so stay tuned for part 2 as well. Thanks so much as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.